Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Waldo, and in this video we're going to be working on a small project in preparation for a larger project. We're going to be building a welding cart for this weldering machine. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably know that my next major project is building a gooseneck trailer. If there's one thing that I learned from my last big project, which was building a flatbed for my project truck, it's that moving my welding machine around along with the bottle of shielding gas is a major pain. The goal is to have a welding cart that'll hold and make it easy to move around my welding machine, one bottle of shielding gas like the ones back there, and also have a shelf to hold things like welding helmets and other miscellaneous welding accessories. I purchased some oversized wheels and some swivel casters at Harbor Freight. I wanted to go with large ones because I'm going to be rolling this cart around on the dirt and gravel surface of my driveway while I'm building this trailer, and the larger the wheel, the easier it is to roll around over bumps. I'm going to build the cart out of steel, really just whatever scrap I have lying around, so it'll be pretty inexpensive. So we'll start out by making the shelf that's going to hold the welding machine. And that is about maybe a little over 21 inches by about 11 1/4. I have a bunch of this angle iron. It's 1 inch by 1 inch by 1/8 of an inch thick, and it's pretty close to ideal for much of the frame of the cart. I suppose if I leave this an inch larger than the machine itself, that should leave plenty of extra room for it to fit nicely. Now this saw does cut 45s, but I think it'll be easier just to make straight cuts, and then I can cut off some of the corners as needed later. Man, this thing cuts through 1/8 inch steel like butter. These magnetic welding squares, really nice for getting your stuff, well, square. I think some expanded metal is going to be perfect for making the floor of this shelf. Not only is it economical and I have some on hand, but also it doesn't hold dirt or slag or anything like that. It just lets it fall right through. I bought a 4x8 sheet of this stuff years ago for a project, and I still have most of it left. So let's get this thing cut up. Luckily, it's really easy to cut. Fits beautifully.
Eventually.
Look at that, that's beautiful. So for the backbone of this, the rear vertical supports, I'm going to use some of this 1 inch square tube. So I guess next I should probably do the bottom shelf. It's going to be a little bit more complex because it needs to leave space for the front casters, but yeah, we'll take care of that. hard could this be to bend? For the axles, I'm just going to use some standard 5/8 bolts. These are just the right size for the tires. I've got this one clamped on, and I think I've gotten the camber and toe just right on it. See how this bottle fits in here. Pretty well. Well, this is where we're at so far. Obviously, I need to install the wheels and the casters, and I probably should install some handles, but one thing that I really don't want to overlook is a means to secure the top of the tank to the cart itself. And I think I'm going to accomplish that by making some sort of a cradle that'll go in here, and I can strap it to that, and it'll hold it in place nice and securely. I went ahead and drew up this design here for the top plate, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this out with the plasma cutter. Well, you gotta love that when it just falls out all on its own. Would you just look at that fit? I added a little bit of reinforcement to this. These casters even have little grease fittings. They're cheap ones, but they are grease fittings nonetheless. It rolls really nicely over this uneven ground because of the large wheels and casters. I can't stress how important that is for my application. So other than needing a little bit of paint, here we are, and it's like pretty much done as far as the construction of it goes. I added some handles out of some pipe last night, sealed off the end of it. Over here on the other side, I added some cable management so that I can wrap these up here nicely so they're secured when I'm moving it around. So time to slap some paint on this. I'm going to be using Rust-Oleum Rusty Metal Primer for the primer part of it. Not a particularly high quality coating, but it's quick and easy and inexpensive. So I've gotten a couple coats of primer on here, and now it is time to paint it black with this gloss protective enamel. We're just gonna go with the boring old black. Well, I let the paint dry overnight, and here is the finished result. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's practical, it looks decent, it was inexpensive to make, and I'm really looking forward to it making my life easier when I do large welding projects. Speaking of large projects, I have one more small project to do before I start with the gooseneck trailer build, and that is I'm gonna build some leveling sawhorses, some really heavy duty ones that I can build the trailer on top of. The challenge is that my driveway is not level. I don't have a level surface on which to build the trailer, and if I have some nice leveling sawhorses, I can make a nice level surface. And yeah, it'll work pretty well, I think. So I'm gonna be building those. I don't know if I'm gonna film it, so I guess you'll see whether or not my next video is about building some leveling sawhorses. If not, then I will see you in the trailer build video, which I will definitely be filming. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Aspen, you're peeing right in front of the camera, silly girl. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. What are you doing, Rhino? Look at him eating dirt over there. What a silly boy.